Right. Today's lesson is going to wrap up our use of the math counter to create sort of an in-game collect items to have an effect on another item. So a kind of a simple quest-based thing where we have to collect some items in order to get another item to work. So in our setup here, what we've got is a generator and a light here with a light entity in front of it, and then a button and a game text. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you add all the entities, and then we'll go back through and kind of reconfigure everything. So we're going to work this right off of the map we did yesterday. So you should have the gas cans, a math counter, and a light, which I actually moved over here. So we're just kind of building on what we did yesterday. So for this prop right here, this is a generator. This is a prop static, no name. This is just a visual prop. The model is called Generator Trailer 01, and it's just a prop static. So let's drop that into the map. Now, somewhere on the generator, we need a button in order to activate this generator. So I went ahead and just put a no draw box. So I used my block tool. I made a box. Then I right-clicked on that box. I selected Tie to Entity. I made it a func button. And I named it Button Generator. Okay, we'll get back to the settings for it later. All right, now the other thing I added, prop static, and this is called Light Floodlight 02. This guy right here. And then this is the light from yesterday. It's just a regular light. I named it Light Collect. I changed the color. It's not red because I changed it for this, but you know, the color doesn't matter. Under flags, make sure it says initially dark. Okay, so we've got a generator, a button, a light prop, I guess, an actual light, and then the last thing we need is a game text. So over here, type in game text, drop it on the ground, open it up, and let's go ahead and name it message generator. For the message text, this is going to be the message that it gives you when to tell the player what they need to do. So when my player tries to use the generator, it's going to say low fuel. For the color, I set it to white, so it'll show up against the background. Everything else is good to go, just the way it is on this. Apply. All right, so let's go through and set this up. So let's go to the button. Pretty much everything's going to happen right here. So on our button, I named it, let's see, let's go down under sounds. You can have a sound on it if you want. There's a whole bunch on here. You know, it's up to you. Doesn't really matter. Locked sound. You can add a sound for that if you want. This locked sentence, I was hoping it would work without game text, but it doesn't. So this can just be none. All right. So these are just some sound effects for when you're operating a button. Let's go to flags. We're going to say don't move. Use activates. And this is the important part right here, starts locked. Okay, so this button is locked when we initially start the game. Under output, we're going to have two outputs. So the first one is going to be on in. So we're going to click add, on in. This is the name of the light. That's this light right here. And we're going to select turn on. So when the player pushes the button, it's going to turn on this light. However, the button is locked. So that means when the player tries to press it, nothing's going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another output here. This one's going to say on use locked. So this is when the player is trying to use this, but it's locked. So the player's not able to, they push it, but it's locked. So nothing's going to happen. So when that happens, we're going to have the game text. Remember the message that I put in? This guy right here. So on use locked, this message is going to display. So what this is going to do is when the player comes over to this generator, if they push this button and the generator button is locked, it's going to display this text right here and tell them, hey, the fuel is low. You need to get the fuel. All right? So that's it for the button. Pretty simple. So we name it. You can add a couple sounds if you'd like to. Under flags, don't move, use activates, starts locked. Outputs, we have two of them. On in, this is your light, turn on. This is the other one, on use locked. Message generator, that's the name of this guy. Display. So this will display a message to the player if they try to use it before they collect all the gasoline. Apply, close. All right. Now we're going to go to our math counter and we're going to change up how this works a little bit. So on our math counter, under outputs, we're going to change it so instead of the math counter turning on the light, it's going to unlock the generator button. So the player still has to go do the generator. So you don't collect the gas cans and the light just magically turns on. You're going to collect the gas cans, then go over to the generator, and the generator will be able to be used. So on your math counter, we're going to change the on hit max on its outputs. We're going to change it so it talks to the button on the generator instead of the light. So when I collect all the gas cans, this math counter is going to unlock this button right here. So the player can collect all the gas cans, go over here, hit the button to turn on the light. So on my math counter, I'm going to have on hit max. This is the name of the button that's on my generator. Via this input is unlock. So it's going to unlock that button so it can be used. Apply. And that is it. Pretty simple. So let's take a look at this in game and see what it looks like. Okay, so here's the scene. I've got my light. Actually, this is an older version. I moved the light to make it more obvious. But anyway, it all works the same. So if I come over here and I try to do this, it says low fuel. All right, well, there just happens to be some gas cans over here. So I'm going to collect all the gas cans. Okay, now notice the light did not automatically turn on, but we know that I collected all these, so this button over here is unlocked now. So if I come over here and I hit the button now, the light turns on. Okay, so one more time. I can come over to the generator, I try to use it, it says low fuel. All right, I need gas. I collect all the gas cans, come back, there we go. All right, now variations on this, what could I do? You could have the math counter tell you that, when you collect all the gas cans, you could use a game text that says, go start the generator or something like that if you wanted to. We can always use those to kind of help the player along. But otherwise, this is what I want from you tomorrow. We're going to do another one of these completely on your own where you're going to collect a certain number of items. So make sure you really understand how this works today when you're done with it. Go through all the steps, take a look at everything. Not a huge amount of changes today. All we really did is instead of this turning on the light, now this button turns on the light. So these tell this to unlock this. And then when this is unlocked, this button turns on that light. That's it. Very simple. And this could be anything. It doesn't have to be a light. It could be unlock a door, spawn a bad guy. I mean, it could truly be anything you want it to be. We're just using a light because it's a very simple visual way of representing how this works. All right, that is it for today. That is your math counter with item collection and lock and unlock a button.